All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to break down a really clear, super powerful roadmap for any entrepreneur out there. You know, the ones looking to take their business from just a struggling idea to a company that can actually scale. This whole framework comes from the incredible insights of business coach Rajiv Talreja. Okay, let's get right into it. You know how it is, right? Every entrepreneur kicks things off with so much hope, thinking, my product's going to sell, I'm going to make money. But the reality is often a whole lot different. So what's the real difference between the businesses that actually take off and the ones that just kind of tread water or worse, sink? Well, it usually comes down to one big mistake right at the very beginning. So first things first. That first stage, moving out of that initial struggle, it's the most critical. And to do it, you have got to connect what Rajiv Talreja calls the 3 dots. Seriously, if these 3 things aren't perfectly lined up, you're not going to make money and you're not going to get clients. It really is that simple. So it all boils down to these 3 things. Dot number 1, your customer. Do they actually have the money to pay you? And do they have a real burning need for what you do? Dot number 2, your offer. Now, forget the 1,000 things you could do for them. What is the one specific thing that will make them walk through your door? And finally, dot number 3, your price. It has to feel right for them, of course, but just as importantly, it absolutely has to be profitable for you. This right here, this is all about the power of finding your niche. I mean, just think about it for a second. You've got 2 jewelry stores. One's just a general, we sell jewelry kind of shop. The other one calls itself the expert in wedding jewelry. Now, where do you think a family planning a huge wedding is going to go? They're going to the specialist every single time. That kind of focus doesn't lose you customers, no way. It attracts the perfect ones who will trust you and keep coming back. And here's a brilliant example of this in action. The Indian burger brand Jumbo King. They don't go around advertising their entire menu, no. Instead, they use a simple, super affordable, and really popular snack, the vada pav, to get people in the door. Once you're inside, drawn in by that easy, familiar offer, that's when you see their whole lineup of awesome, higher-priced burgers. The vada pav is just the foot in the door that leads to a much, much bigger sale. Smart, right? Okay, so you've done it. You connected the 3 dots. You're not just struggling anymore. You're officially in survival mode. That's a huge step. But how do you make that climb from just surviving to being truly stable where the business isn't just a day-to-day grind? Well, it means you have to start building something bigger. Now, this is where we have to separate our feelings from the cold, hard facts. You might feel like you're barely hanging on, but here's the real fact indicator for survival. You have a business model that works. People are buying what you're selling, even if it's just from word of mouth. The core concept is proven. You are officially in the game. To get from survival to stability, you've got to build systems. Look, relying on word of mouth is great, but you can't build a predictable business on hope. You need 4 engines humming along consistently. A marketing engine to bring in a steady flow of leads. A sales engine to turn those leads into actual money. An operations engine to deliver on your promises flawlessly. And an accounts engine to keep your finances clean and everything above board. So how do you know you've hit stability? What's the fact indicator? It's when those 4 engines are running so well that you have a profitable business model. Again, this isn't about how you feel. It's about the numbers. You have enough cash flow to pay all your bills, pay yourself a real salary, and you know the lights are going to stay on next month. This is the moment the business finally starts to breathe on its own. Now, this next jump, this leap, is often the hardest one for any entrepreneur. Why? Because it's not just about building better systems anymore. It's about fundamentally changing who you are as the owner. I want you to think about it this way. To get your business to stability, you have to be the horse. You are pulling the entire cart forward with your own strength, your own sweat. You're the main doer. But to get to true success, you can't be the horse anymore. You have to become the chariot driver. Your job is no longer to pull. Your job is to build and guide a whole team of powerful horses. It is a massive identity shift, from doing all the work to leading the people who do the work. And the fact indicator for success? It's crystal clear. You have a second line of leaders. These are managers who are running the daily operations of your 4 engines for you. This is it. This is the moment you are finally free from the tyranny of the urgent, the day-to-day grind. You can stop being the horse and finally be the chariot driver, looking out at the horizon, at growth, at expansion, at the real vision for your company. But how do you pick these leaders? So many owners fall into this trap of promoting the most loyal person, the one who's been there the longest, or maybe just the best yes man. That is a huge mistake. Real leadership potential comes from combining two things: loyalty and capability. You have to reward the people who show both a commitment to the mission and the competence to get results. That's the combo that drives real performance. And just giving someone a new title, that's not nearly enough. You have to teach them how to lead. Let's take sales as an example. Most owners do product training, teaching all the features, and they call it sales training. But that's not it. Real sales training is about skills. How to ask great questions to really understand a client's needs, how to position your product as the perfect solution, how to handle objections, how to negotiate win-win deals, and how to actually close and get a commitment. You have to build their capability, not just their product knowledge. So once you have that team of leaders in place, you can finally start aiming for the summit. True, sustainable scale. This is where your business can grow way beyond your direct daily influence. At the scale stage, your team evolves again. The fact indicator here isn't just that they can manage people and processes. It's that they have the business smarts and the strategic courage to help you create the future. They're not just executing your vision anymore. They're in the chariot with you, helping to shape it. And once that team is in place, a whole new world of strategic paths opens up for you. You can push for aggressive organic growth. You could start acquiring smaller companies to expand your footprint. You could decide to sell the business and cash out, or you could even prepare to take the company public with an IPO. Success gives you options. Now, let's talk about something really common. For so many entrepreneurs, building that leadership team involves one of the biggest challenges there is: family. Bringing your kids into the business can feel like walking through a minefield, but this framework has a really clear way to navigate it. Okay, here is some absolutely vital advice for anyone in a family business. The biggest mistake the senior generation can make is giving their kids a fancy title and a corner office on day one. All this does is breed entitlement. It prevents them from ever earning the respect of the team, and it stops them from truly understanding how the business works from the ground up. So the key here is to consciously manage three completely separate relationships. At home, your family. Business talk stops at the door. In the office, you are business partners, equals, who can challenge and support each other. And finally, you also have to nurture a mentor-mentee dynamic, where the older generation shares experience and the younger generation brings fresh perspectives. These boundaries, they're everything. So there you have it, the full map, from struggle all the way to scale. The framework is clear, the stages are defined. The only question left is a personal one. When you look at your own journey, where you are right now, what's the next stage for you? And maybe more importantly, who do you need to become to get there?